Anderson Roofing and Contracting is your commercial, multifamily, and residential partners in construction, maintenance, and repair in Texas. Based in Flower Mound for more than 20 years, Anderson Roofing and Contracting is family-owned and operated, and their reputation means everything to them. They're licensed and insured, and they stand behind every project they're a part of. That's why they have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, and they've been voted the best roofer in the Best of Denton County 7 times. Request your free inspection and estimate today at AndersonRoofsTexas.com. That's Anderson, ROOFS, Texas.com.
Strittmatter Plumbing, Heating, and AC is your number one choice for all your heating, cooling, and plumbing repairs in the Denton County area. Family owned and operated for over 40 years, Strittmatters is proud to support these high school athletes because giving back to their community is at the heart of everything they do. They stand behind their work with a 100% satisfaction guarantee or your money back. Strittmatters offers free second opinions and no cost estimates, and 7 to 8 is the same great rate 7 days a week. No overtime charges ever. When it matters most, call Strittmatters. Online at strittmatters.com.
Thinking of buying or selling your home? Lisa Morris and Shannon Piper with the Cloud Realty team have been serving the DFW area for over 15 years. They specialize in residential buying, residential selling, and work with investors all over the Metroplex. Call them today at 469-300-1109 or go to txcloudrealty.com and check out their 5-star reviews. Contact Lisa and Shannon today to find your next dream home.
Rapid Med Urgent Care Center in Highland Village provides Southern Denton County families with state-of-the-art emergency medical care right in your neighborhood. From checkups to broken bones, school vaccinations, sports physicals, and more, you can count on Rapid Med for all of your medical needs. Rapid Med is proud to provide the latest in concussion management through the IMPACT program in partnership with the Texas Health Sports Network. Rapid Med Urgent Care Center is dedicated to providing you with quality care quickly. Visit rapidmed.com.
Thanks for tuning in to another segment of Jag Nation Radio with Coach Brian Basil. I'm John Piper. We'll break down the win over Naaman Forest and this week's home opener with Mansfield Timberview. Thanks to the Jaguar Booster Club for bringing this show to you each and every week during the season. Visit and shop local with our sponsors, Anderson Roofing, Rapid Med, Strittmatter Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, along with Cloud Realty. And no one better to break it down for us than Coach Brian Basil. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, John?
Well, we were just talking. It is a beautiful Sunday afternoon. I know you guys are hard at work. The Dallas Cowboys are playing. We're getting right into the prime of the football season, and you get your home opener at Neil Wilson Stadium coming up. But before we talk about Mansfield Timberview, let's talk a little bit about, what a way to open up the season, going back-to-back road victories. Always makes for a great weekend, and, the following week around the field house and the Flower Mound campus, a lot brighter. Do you and the staff get to enjoy these victories, or is it really just off to the next opponent?
We enjoy them. It's a short turnaround. I think we tell our kids, you get about 24 hours, and then you got to close the book on it, and that's just our approach. We come in on after Friday night game on Saturday morning and grade the film out, and then we bring our players in and watch it with our players. We get a lift in, and then we're able to really kind of wrap it up in terms of a learning experience from what we get out of watching that film. And of course, you go home. We'll send the kids home, and then our coaches will start breaking down film and getting everything labeled in film from getting ready for our next week's opponent. So when we start working on that, it just forces you to really get focused on next week. By Saturday afternoon, we go home, get a chance to rest a little bit, and it's always a great feeling after a win. And then we come back up here at 1:00 on Sunday and get going on finalizing game plans and getting ready for the week. So just that process is it's a lot more enjoyable after a win than it is after a loss. So we do enjoy it, but the focus really gets onto that next week and what you need to do to go do it all over again, hopefully.
Well, we talk often, no matter what level, whether it's college, pro, high school, you work so hard to prepare each and every week, and you only get 10, 11, 12 weeks, sometimes longer, in the postseason to really prove out and try to get that W. So you're right, Coach. Getting the win just makes for those short opportunities to celebrate, and even if it's just for 24 hours. But hey, I want to ask you. A lot of fans are always curious. You mentioned hitting the weight room on a Saturday morning. Has that always been the case, like over your 25 plus years of coaching, or do a lot of sports science folks say, hey, maybe we should wait a couple days after a battle on a Friday night? Has that always been the case, hitting the weight room after the night after a ball game?
Yeah, we've always done that. I've always believed in coming in that next day, and our strength and conditioning staff does an outstanding job. Parker Lyles, Casey Fitzgerald, they have a great plan. A lot of times you come in after that game. Now we don't come in and do a lot of heavy weights or anything else like that. We'll come in and we'll do kind of tailored to how that night was. But we'll come in and do, like on Saturday, we came in and did some front squats, a lot of, we'll come up and we'll do a little bit of light jogging and a lot of stretching. But I think getting what we do that next day, again, we'll go a little bit higher repetition, lower volume, but it still does a lot to work some of that soreness out, get some of the lactic acid out, and then really help that flexibility. If you go after a game and you go a couple days before you really start to stretch or run again, you're actually going to develop a little bit more tightness and soreness than coming in next day and working some of that out of there. So we really believe in that. We want to get the heart rate up a little bit and work some flexibility, because we'll come back in again. Next time we see them, we'll be tomorrow morning. We'll come in Monday morning, and it's a little bit heavier day in the weight room. So we feel like from the time that we play on a Friday night until that first practice on Monday afternoon, we'll get 2 lifts in, and we really believe in that from a player development standpoint, in terms of how you continue getting stronger during the season. There's a lot of research behind the weight training and flexibility to prevent injury. So that's been something we've really believed in.
Well, Coach, traveling to Garland, Texas on a Friday afternoon for a game can present its own challenges. How was the trip across the Metroplex? That's probably the farthest you might travel all season, I believe.
Yeah, it actually wasn't a bad trip. I don't know. The last couple of weeks, we went up to McKinney last week. We went over to Garland. A couple weeks ago, we scrimmaged in South Arlington drove down there on a Friday afternoon. And what I've seen is really we didn't hit much traffic. I know going around George Bush and that way over to Garland was pretty much smooth sailing. And we were talking about with our coaches, I think with a lot more people working from home now, it's just that there doesn't seem to be as much traffic during those typical rush hour times. I was a little bit concerned going over there on Friday, rush hour time we're going over there. We want to leave ourselves plenty of time, but it took us about 45 minutes to get over there, which wasn't bad at all. So the biggest traffic backup, because the time we had to leave, was that after school traffic getting out of the student parking lot. So once we got on the highway, it was pretty smooth sailing. And Williams Stadium, traditional stadium over there in Garland, right by Garland High School. A lot of good football games have been played over there. So it's always fun. You go on those away games seems to really focus your attention a little bit more, because you're in unfamiliar territory. So but we got over there in good shape, and we're excited to go play.
Well, Coach, the Jags get another win, 29-9 over Naaman Forest. Second week in a row, your defense held the opposing offense to just single digits. You have to like what you're seeing thus far from the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, those guys are playing really well. That's something that we've always taken a lot of pride in with our team. It's the defensive side of the ball. It's a lot of effort and desire and toughness, and we got guys that are really playing really well. Fortunately, we've got some positions where we're able to rotate some guys in. I think that keeps guys fresher. Guys that do some different things well, and we got a lot of guys on the field the other night that were able to contribute. So really proud of the way those guys are playing right now.
Well, Coach, a couple of them, a couple your defenders came up with a big night. Ryan McDavid had 8 tackles, 1 sack, 2 tackles for a loss. Joey Lukash credited for 6.5 tackles, 2 sacks. Wow, that was big right there. And then Stone Eby comes up with his 5.5 tackles, 1 assist, and 1 tackle for a loss. Colton Votney had another solid game for you. And I could go on and on and on. You had a lot of contributions from the defensive side. Like we talked, you held them to just 9 points, but Naaman Forrest, they were able to put, quite a bit of yards on the box score, but you kept them out of the end zone and prevented them from scoring. What were some of the keys there?
Well, I think it's just a testament to guys that play hard and do their jobs. Our coaches have at each position we have come up with the beginning of the year of what we call a job description, and we tell those guys like these are 5 things you got to do at your position to be successful, and a lot of them are execution and responsibility type things, and our guys are just doing a really good job understanding that. Our run defense is all about controlling your gaps, getting fit in gaps, and we have some movements that we'll do. Coverage wise, you gotta, you gotta. I know it sounds simple, but man, you gotta cover your guys. You gotta put yourself in the best position to make plays and create some small windows to throw through. So. Those guys understand that. Our coach is doing a good job of working schemes in practice to prepare our guys for the games. They hit a couple big plays. The one thing I was proud of is in the I think it was towards the tail end of the first quarter, but they were down on the 5-yard line and hit their big tight end who also plays some defensive end for him, just an outstanding player. The deal kid at Naaman Forrest, he's a really, really good football player, and they hit him on our guy was in the right place. He just made a good catch and kind of separated and had about about an 85-yard run or so, but I was real proud. I mean, it's just the same thing as McKinney Boyd. We had guys on defense that really had a great effort to go run them down. I think tackling them on about the 10-yard line. And we ended up stopping them on 4 downs. So that's one thing about our defense is that we've had a couple weeks where they may hit a big play, but our pursuit is able to end up running it down. And we tell them, hey, live to see another down. Don't just make it easy on them. And we were able to get a 4-down stop there. We were real proud of that. They had a drive at the end of the game where they chewed up a lot of yards. I think 13-play drive where they went down and were able to kind of put it in the end zone there towards the end. So we weren't happy that they scored there. We wanted to try to go 2 games without giving up a touchdown, and they scored there at the end. But we blocked PAT, and Colton Votney blocked PAT, and Carter Burns scooped it and ran it back for a 2-point conversion. So I think that next play mentality for our defense is really why we played so well. Something good happens, and we get excited about it. Well, they got to line up and play the next play. If they hit us on a big play, if we don't execute something well, then we're able to forget about it, put it behind us, and go play the next play. And I think that's why we've been successful on defense to this point.
Stepping up, making big plays when they need to. Switching gears to the offensive side, Coach, another big night of production from your quarterback, Nick Evers, and the receiving corps. Nick had a terrific night, 20 of 33 for 317 yards and 2 touchdowns with only 1 pick. Quite a few of your receivers contributed. Isaac Carpenter, 5 receptions, 110 yards, 1 touchdown, averaging 22 yards a catch on that game. That was big. And Parker Clark, 7 receptions. He didn't get a touchdown, but averaging 16 yards a catch really contributed. And then Landon Widener, 5 receptions, 59 yards, and 1 touchdown. Boy, you're having a lot of success throwing the ball. Is that going to be the game plan moving forward? Are you going to have to work on getting the ground attack a little more balanced?
Yeah, well, to start off with that, Nick's done an outstanding job. Just really proud of the job he's done distributing the ball. He was really sharp again the other night. Made great decisions. Really accurate with the football. Our receivers, when we're able to spread it out like that with a number of guys, that certainly helps. Naaman Forest came out and with their scheme, with the 4-2-5 look on the front. We're playing a lot of 7-8 man in the box, so you gotta be able to throw the ball when they're doing that. Now, we do need to do some things to establish the run game. Continue to break in some young offensive linemen, and Andrew Moss is fighting for some tough yards in there. But ultimately, we don't want to just have to be able to throw it 50, 60 times a game. And we did the other night. That's not the plan, but everybody says on offense, you want to be balanced, and that's not necessarily 50-50, but it's being able to execute whether you got to throw it or run it based on what the defense is doing to you. So, every week teams will come in, and as we start to establish our identity a little bit more, teams will start adjusting to take away some things that we're doing. But yeah, I'm proud of our receivers and the job that Nick has done in the passing game. Our offensive line is continuing to learn and grow and get better, and we're going to have to, so we can open up some holes in the run game. But we always say, you got to do whatever it takes, and so we've had to throw the ball quite a bit, and we've been able to hit some big plays. That still makes it tough on a defense when Isaac has had. We've had a 75-yard touchdown. He had a 42-yard reception that first week. Isaac had a 70-something yard touchdown the other night. So we're capable of hitting some big plays there, and that's always going to keep the defense from just packing it in from 10 yards from the line of scrimmage and making it have to drive the ball. If we're capable of hitting those home runs, that's going to help open up some holes elsewhere.
Bert Auburn doing another great job. Special teams, it plays such a big role, especially at the high school level. Had 5 punts, averaged almost 35 yards a punt. But the key here, only 2 returns, so he's getting the ball, either corner it out of bounds and really helping you control the field position battle during the ball game.
Yeah, Bert, you understand how hard he works. I think a lot of times that people watch games and he's such a talent. You don't ever take him for granted. He's done it for 3 years. Just been very solid. Return guy. Our cover teams have really done a good job. But Bert, he does such a good job of getting the ball down there. And when you're able to flip the field like that, that helps the defense out. Sometimes the offense may not drive the ball like they need to, but if you punt the ball down there and don't give up any net return yards and your defense gets a stop, then conversely, about 2 series later, you're going to get your offensive ball back in good field position. That's the hidden yardage that people talk about, but Bert is just so instrumental to that. And mentioned this before, but you just talk about our specialists and our kickers and snappers, holders, those guys that, especially our kickers, that a lot of times during practice or go over and work through a script. They're just so dedicated to what they do, and it takes a lot of discipline to do that, because you're talking about in a game where there's over 200 snaps that are occurring. Bert comes in and gets anywhere from about 12 to 15 of those between kickoffs and punts, PAT field goals. That it's a small portion of the game that you got to prepare so hard for, and he's one of the best I've ever been around at doing that. Next
up, Mansfield Timberview comes into Neil Wilson Stadium on Friday night. They've only had one game, Coach, one game canceled, but a big win over Mansfield Lake Ridge, 28-14. They're ranked in the top 10 of 5A Division II. So very formidable opponent. Coach James Brown brings his team in there. It's going to be a battle come Friday night.
Yeah, they're a very good team. Coach Brown does an excellent job. His staff, they do a great job preparing their kids. They play extremely hard. They've got a really good scheme. They're really athletic. So we've got to have a great week of practice, especially to adjust to their speed that they have on the field. We played a couple teams last week, especially particularly Naaman Forest. Very similar in terms of just level of athlete you're going to have on the field, and we're going to have to really be prepared. They've got a dynamic quarterback that's capable of making a lot of things happen. The defense plays really hard, runs the football well. It'll be a good challenge for us.
Well, Coach, some of their players rolling into Flower Mound, big offensive lineman Dayton Robinson, wide receiver Barron Loftus, Andre Williams. Have you had a chance to look at much film on these guys?
Yeah, we've got some film. Of course, they weren't able to play last week, so but from scrimmage film to game film, you get an idea of the framework of their scheme and what their team's about. You base it on what you see there, and really, really good, fundamentally sound football team that doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes. They play hard. They get after it. They do a really good job.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for joining us on Jag Nation. Good luck Friday night. Go Jaguars.
Thank you, John.